Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosensia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosensia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Mia Mosensia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with four terrific guys in a lovely studio somewhere in Connecticut. He's backed by a well-known Connecticut musician of 50-plus years, guitarist and lead singer. And this gentleman began at 7 for a love for doo-wop, and also influenced by the Duprees, Larry Chance and the Earls, Danny and the Juniors, and also got the Penguins and little Anthony Imperials and a lot more. And of course, he also formed a new group and very popular in the tri-state area, featuring Joe Carver, the founding member and bassist. We also got Paul Scungio, the vocalist and keyboardist, Al Floyd, we got the drummer and baritone, and of course, we got the very, very amazing guitarist and lead singer, part of the Juke Box 45, and we also got the CD, which is Juke Box 45, Doo-Wop Memories, and it's great, guys. So, for getting all that, we got Jerry Fanfarelli and their group. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, guys. Oh, yeah, it's great to have you on board. So before we begin, let's go around the room. We got Joe, the founding member and bassist, and I'd like to tell you how you got started.
Okay, I grew up in the church. My parents were ministers, and so music was just a big part of what we did. It was very routine. We played every service, so we got a lot of playtime and 3 services a week normally. So I enjoyed playing music early on, and then when I got older, sort of experimented with different styles of music. But when I met these guys, first met Jerry, we knew pretty early on which direction we wanted to go and the music that we both were inspired by. So
That's really interesting. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Actually, when I started a band in school early on, the feeling that I got that I accomplished something, it was pretty incredible. You know, I didn't do a lot of things well as a child. I struggled with school and everything, and music was just one thing that I was able to do, and I did it pretty well, and I got the recognition for it. So that just inspired me and kept me on this journey.
That is rather interesting as well, too. And of course, we also got Jerry Fanfarelli, who's second on the left as well, too. He's the guitarist and lead singer. And Jerry, you've had a really good following as well, too. You've been doing this for 50 years, love a doo-wop and everything else. And you also put together Juke Box 45, and you had some great stories as well, too. We were talking earlier. And tell us how you got started.
Well, at a very young age, I started, my interest was piqued when my Aunt Celeste used to have her 45 records. We lived in a two-family house, so my grandparents lived downstairs with my aunt, and we lived upstairs. So she would come home and pop these 45 records on, and I would hear them. So I'd run downstairs and I'd listen. And at that time, I was not a musician, but I knew early on that these songs were very powerful emotionally, and I had no idea, what love was or anything at that time. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, but I knew that these songs were strong, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was paving the way for what we now have as our premier 50s and 60s doo-wop band, Juke Box 45. But my dad was a musician. He was a pianist. And like I said, I was influenced heavily by him and by all the records that I was listening to, all these various artists, the Duprees, like you mentioned before, Larry Chance and the Earls, Fred Paris and the Five Satins. Fred was from New Haven, Connecticut, the same town that I grew up in. So, his name was passed around quite a bit.
That's rather interesting as well. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Well, I'd have to say that the influencing moment was when, believe it or not, when the Beatles came to America. Wanted to watch the Ed Sullivan Show at night, and it was a school night, so my parents said, "No, you guys have to go to bed." It was 8 o'clock, I think, and I begged them to watch the show, and then finally they let me. They saw the door was cracked open, so I ran out. They said, "Okay, you can sit and watch." So my sister and I sat in front of the black and white television and watched the Beatles do their performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I said, "Wow, this is what I really want to be doing." I really enjoy. I think I'm going to enjoy this. And I hadn't even played yet. I wasn't even a musician yet. Something that I was going to aspire towards.
How do you like that? You got your choice of who you want to emulate. Who's your favorite Beatle? Was it John, Paul, George, or Ringo? Or if it was a fifth Beatle, you can mention that. So.
I like Paul. I like Paul, the bass player. I don't know why. He just resonated with me.
Okay, that's rather interesting. And then, of course, we got Paul Scungio, the vocalist and keyboardist, next over. And Paul, tell us how you got started.
I started, when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I woke up one morning and Christmas time, and there was one of those little Emily organs under the tree. You're the kind that you turn a switch on. It sounded like you were about to vacuum your rug. Used to have the motor inside it. Everything was like an air organ, started doing that. And as time went on, got more and more interested in different types of music, not just different types, but how the music was put together. So I got into a lot of orchestration. And, back then, the instruments that they were using back then was so very, very expensive. As time went on, the instruments that I needed to to do what I wanted to do got very affordable. And I started getting into more and more into soundtracks and things of that sort. I love orchestration. I just love orchestration. When a few years back, my wife bought me a library of orchestrated sounds that I could use any way that I wanted to. And to be totally honest, I've been through quite a few different venues, different types of music. But I was about done, honestly. The music business, sometimes is not very, very easy. And I was kind of worn out. And then when Jerry had called, it was like a renewed life in music. And I was able to take some of the orchestration and put it to what we do. The music itself is, it needs no introduction. People hear this music, it makes them feel good. It gets right into their hearts. And then when Jerry called and said, "This is what I'm doing," I climbed on board. And we do the music very, very close to the original recording. And then we put a little spin on it too, a little bit of orchestration there too, kind of update it a little bit. So all kind of came together, and we're really enjoying ourselves. We complement each other musically as well.
You do compliment guys as well too, and of course, and of course, you talked about some soundtracks and everything else. What are some of your favorite soundtracks? it comes to movies and everything else.
Right. I started to get into a lot of Broadway and Phantom of the Opera, and I started to do my own Broadway show. And it was very nice. It was a lot of work, though, just in order to get out there and perform my own show. I had to set up my own equipment, so on and so on. So it got to be a little bit, too much. But that is really, honest to God, that's where my heart was in that kind of performance. There's so many very, very talented people up on that stage. Very, very underrated,
Mm-hmm. And certainly is as well too. We're glad to have you on board. And finally, we've got Al Floyd. And Al, don't be shy. Come on over here. We want to see your face. Okay. Yeah, squeeze on over. Let Al in. Okay. And Jerry, if you maybe just want to sit up front and show who's the boss, the leader, you can do so too. So and Al, you're a drummer and a baritone as well too. And you've been doing this for quite some time. And also tell us how you got started.
My family we're a family of musicians. My parents were gospel singers, and my older brother was a drummer. My sister was a violinist. My other brother was a trombone player. And my parents it was a requirement for us to take music lessons. We lived in a project, but my parents scraped up enough to make sure that we were trained in music. And I had my own niche because there was always Motown playing in the house and jazz, and I was drawn to more like Stevie Wonder and the Kinks and the British invasion groups, stuff like that. And then I joined the marching band and just took off from there.
That's very interesting. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into doing what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Stevie Wonder, when he came out with his first song, Fingertips. Yep, and it blew me away when I heard it. And I liked Miles Davis, and that was where it came from, my roots.
Okay. I was just thinking about Miles Davis, being one of your favorites. And what are your thoughts on Bitches Brew, one of his greatest classics?
Oh, that's a classic, Blue.
Okay. All right. I think we're kind of frozen here, and we're talking with Al Floyd, the drummer and baritone. Okay. All right. Al, go ahead. I think you cut out for a minute. Al, go ahead. Continue what you're saying.
We're talking about Bitches Brew?
Yes.
Yes, that was like the blend of, that was when Miles was going into rock, and he was doing, that's when he first came involved with fusion. And I found it to be very interesting. Yeah, I was very young at the time, but it was something that grabbed my ear, caught my ear.
Okay. I like that as well too, with all you guys coming together as well too, as one such influence. We'll talk about Juke Box 45 and more as well too, Jerry Fanfarelli and the rest of the gang. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love would be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Also heard on HamiltonRadio.net every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and a few networks and platforms coming soon. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/me and for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/me and check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with Jerry Fanfarelli, the master of Juke Box 45 doo-wop memories on the Mike Wagner Show, flanked by Joe Carver, Paul Scourgio, and also Al Floyd as well, too. So before we talk about the CD, which is out, we encourage everybody to buy today, and tell us about the CD and how'd you guys all come together? Let's hear it from everybody.
Well, I guess in reference to the CD, I had those songs in my mind for quite a while. I knew which ones I wanted to put on there for the doo-wop memories. These are the songs that are most memorable, that I think people really enjoy listening to. And they all include our vocal harmonies, which we showcase on the CD. So, we had had the idea for these songs, and we went into the studio fairly well rehearsed, but we didn't realize we were going to do all 14 songs in one shot.
Wow, 14 is that like one take, or is it just like in one day?
No. We had several takes for each song, but we did it in one session. Like, wow. We came in early in the morning and we left late at night, and we had laid down 14 tracks times 3 takes. Yeah. So that was a lot of work. We were just on a roll and everybody was gelling. We all felt comfortable. And so we just kept rolling with it, and we did all 14. The next CD that we do, which will come up fairly soon, we're going to not do 14 all in one shot.
Are you guys in agreement? Are you guys in agreement on all that, or should you push it to 15 or 16, or say 13 is enough?
No, I am in agreement. We don't need to do 14 next time.
But it was a joy.
It was fun.
A labor of love, I should say.
And Paul, what are your thoughts? You want to do 14, 15, or 13? What's your take?
I think 12, 13 is probably a good limit. Again, the music that we've done, we knew it very, very well. We knew it so well. We jived because everybody was already up to speed. So it probably wasn't as much work as maybe the next guy, the next band. But from what I remember, we did orchestra. We did all of the instruments first, and then we went back and we did all of the vocals afterward. It really wasn't. I mean, it was work, definitely, but it wasn't. Like picking up that 50-pound weight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everything just plays for us.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Jerry can attest to that. It's like, Jerry, lifting up 50 pounds is no problem for you. It's just like, it's kind of hard, picking those. It's like, the basis of 14 songs, and was it based on? Was it just, something sentimental, or was it just like, well-known or everything? Like, tell us behind the genesis of choosing those 14 particular songs, like you got on the back, like At the Hop, Can't We Be Sweethearts, Once in a While, Rock Around the Clock, 14, there's like so many of them. So bases on those 14.
Well, after I listened to these songs, I knew that at some point in time, I wanted to perform these songs on a CD. And we hadn't even gotten Doug James on the saxophone yet. So he came in later and laid down his tracks after we did all the initial setup, all the initial work. And so that was an additional, 2 or 3 sessions, two sessions, I guess it was. And but you know, he did a brilliant job with it. I mean, we really enjoyed having him do it, and the songs just came out. I thought they came out great. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And as far as the song choices, you know, we had quite a library of the oldies and songs. But when we went to the studio, Jerry already had a good idea of what the song should be. And so we discussed it, and, you know, you just narrow down 3 hours worth of music to a CD's worth. And these were really the choice picks, and the picks that people would so easily recognize. You know, they're just so iconic, the songs are. And so that's what the CD is.
You know what I think happens too is we never did an album before, and we did a lot of rehearsing, you know, before any of this happened. And you kind of surprise yourself when you get into the studio and you start doing something like this. You just don't realize how well things could sound and how nicely they can come together. And when you do that, when that happens, you want to do it more and more. And it came together very, very nicely with all of us.
We did the recording at the Coffee House Studio in Middletown, Connecticut, and Mike Arafat was the record producer. I co-produced the CD with him, but he has a really good knack for laying the tracks down and getting them lined up and doing what he does best, you know. So he really was very instrumental in the way the CD came out.
That is certainly interesting. Of course, you know, 50, 100 years and everything else combined, you've been doing for 50 years, Jerry, as well, too. Maybe some of the, you know, the highlights you have had, who you play with and everything else. And I mean, 50 years is like, you know, that is just a heck of a resume right there.
Well, when I started playing guitar, I was eight or nine. And I think I was 8 years old. And I wanted to have a little band. And so by the time I was 10, I had enough lessons under my belt to have like a garage band. And our first job was at a Cub Scout blue and gold dinner. And I think we got a meatball sub for payment.
You're making me hungry already, guys.
Yeah, and then now we get a meatball sub and $10. No. But,
well, send one over to me after this. How's that?
Yeah, but you know, over the years, I've played just about every kind of music genre there is. You know, I had a jazz band for several years, the rhythm and blues band. I had another oldies band that we did 50s, 60s, and 70s, but this one is by far the best group. I mean, it really is the best group that I've ever played in and played with. These guys are all tremendous musicians, and they're all my close friends. That's the other thing. You know, we all get along with one another. We've all been through that. You know, all of the drama that takes place when you're younger, who's better than, you know, the other guy. And we have no egos. We leave them at the door. We come in. And incidentally, this is our studio where we rehearse. So we come into this studio on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. and we get right down to business. And it's just great making music with these guys. Love it.
It is. I agree.
Mm-hmm. And Al, can you attest to that? So it's like, you know, you can jump in anytime you want, and you don't have to hide behind the camera. And come on, I want to see your smiling face out there, Al. You keep disappearing over this way. Come on, you can join.
I just want to say this about Al. When I first started playing with him, Al didn't sing a note. Honestly, I am just blown away by how far he's come in such a short period of time. He's just got that beautiful, beautiful voice, as you can tell. Even like he's not even singing, you know, and just you can't imagine. He has really come a long, long way in a short period of time, and he deserves a pat on the back.
And a raise. I agree. I do agree.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. What's your question, Bob? I'm sorry. We got a little
Mike. Yep.
Mike, excuse me.
No, that's okay. I think that's been all answered as well, too. And of course, you know, we talked about Jerry playing 50 years and everything else. And of course, you guys have been around for quite some time. Maybe you can share a story or two about, you know, what was the most memorable moment and who you who you play with famously and infamously, and where you've gone and everything else, even who you recorded with. And of course, Doug James, who unfortunately is not be able to join us today. He was a founding member of the Roomful of Blues and play with Jimmy Vaughn, Colin James, Pat Benatar. And of course, he also played with Stevie Ray, Junior Walker, Muddy Waters, and more. And guys like that, it's like, you guys playing that kind of pedigree as well too. Like, it's some, memorable moments and, who you play with and everything. So it's like, Jerry, it's like, he played with some greats as well too. I think we talked off the air as well too, one point about Doc Severinsen. Since it's like, he retired recently. He's like, boys, it's like, he's been going for a long time.
Doug, just going back a little bit, I had met Doug, or I had known Doug since the late 1960s, 69, when he was with Roomful of Blues and Duke Robillard. And I used to go see them all the time in New Haven when they played at Toad's Place, which is a famous music venue. And our paths would periodically cross back and forth. And, we quite a bit of time would go by and I wouldn't see him or hear from him. And then, I'd be in New York City and I'd walk into a nightclub and there they are playing, So then I'd see him another 5 years later. And most recently, when I saw him at a venue near where I live, and we ran into each other, and he said to me, what are you doing? And I said, yeah, we're going to do we're doing an album in the studio. And he said, if you would like, I'd love to put the sax on it for you. So I said, man, I would love to have that, And so that's how he originally got started playing with us. He enjoyed the music that we were playing. I mean, he played with a lot of heavyweights. I think he played with Eric Clapton in Madison Square Garden, and he was Stevie Ray Vaughan's sax player when Stevie was alive. Mm-hmm. So he's played with a lot of professional guys, and we were kind of surprised that he wanted to join the group with us. But he adds so much to the music. His touch. He plays baritone and tenor. So. As you'll hear it on the CD, he did two saxophones.
That is rather interesting. And you guys talked about you're having upcoming release as well, too. And we'll talk about that in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Moses Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the quartet of the Juke Box 45 doo-wop memories, Jerry Fanfarelli and the gang after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with Juke Box 45, doo-wop memories on the Mike Wagner Show. Jerry Fanfarelli and also Joe Carver, Paul Scourgio, and also Al Floyd as well, too. Doug James, another member who's not able to join us as well, too. And you guys, I talked about an upcoming release, and, tell us a bit about that.
On the upcoming release,
The CD that we're going to do next, probably.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the next CD coming up? Okay. So I've had some ideas about putting together another CD. We have so many songs that we have in our master set list. There's over 250 all totaled. And usually when we go out and do a show, it's usually about an hour and a half, and we do about 49 songs for the show. And so some of the songs that are in the show, we were not able to put on this CD. So I'm looking to the new CD that we want to do with having some of the other songs that we do quite well. Emil Stukio and the classics, Till Then is one that comes to mind. And a couple of other ones, so we're trying to get an order in which we're going to be doing the songs. And then I guess we're going to start looking to do some more studio work, It takes a lot of time though and it's quite an effort on everybody's part to come to rehearsal and learn the parts that we have to learn. And it's not always fun and games. I mean, we really do, it's work, we have to work at it. But when we do finally finish it, it's great. So we're really looking forward. I would say we might be getting into the studio probably around the holidays, right after Christmas, and start working on the next one. So we'll be sure and let you know when that one comes out for sure.
We will certainly do that. In the meantime, where can we find all your music at, and where can we, catch you guys perform?
At the present time, our music is currently being processed to go onto some of the platforms like Spotify and CD Baby, Amazon Music, but we haven't gotten through all the red tape yet. So right now you can order the CDs directly through me from our website, which is on Facebook, Juke Box 45 Show Band, and then our contact information is right there. And you can order the CD directly through me.
Okay.
But we're hoping that before the end of the year, the music will be on all of those platforms that I just mentioned. It's just such a bunch of red tape to go through to get the Harry Fox agency in New York City, so that we can do these covers and play them and sell them without any problem. And everybody who was responsible for making those songs gets their royalties and their just recognition. So that's all been taken care of, and that's one hurdle that we had to get over before we can actually distribute these CDs.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly check that out with Jerry Fanfarelli and the rest of the Juke Box 45 show band here on the Mike Wagner Show, and just a couple more things. And what else can you expect me in 2022 and 23 and beyond, besides with your upcoming release and everything else?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that much.
No, what else can we expect from you guys in 2022 and 23 and beyond?
So we played a lot of the outdoor summer concert series for the Parks and Rec throughout Connecticut, and we did a show in Queens and New York recently. We did the Westerly Yacht Club, which is a doo-wop sock hop. So those are all. We were pretty busy all summer. 1 week we played 5 days in a row.
Wow!
And so we played down in Greenwich, Connecticut, Old Saybrook. Then we came up to go to Hartford. When we went back down to Durham, Connecticut, and then we did North Haven. The North Haven show was a great show. So upcoming, we're planning on doing some Christmas shows this year, and we have things usually slow down a little bit right after the holidays, and so we're going to be spending some time in the studio working on the next CD and polishing up our music. And then come springtime, we've got a lot more of those Parks and Rec shows lined up and getting ready to do that. So, and we also, we're going to also be playing in other locations throughout the East Coast. We have a producer down in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, who is interested in putting some shows together down there for us. So we're looking forward to that whenever that comes together. And I just wanted to mention also that a lot of our, or many of the songs that are on our CD, we're getting airplay in New York City.
Nice.
The Alex Augustine Rock, Rhythm, and Blues show on Thursday afternoons, co-hosted by Jackie Nunez. That's RememberThenRadio.com, and they play our songs. We have Bob Hennessy's West Side Coffee Cafe in Manhattan on the West Side. he plays our cuts in the morning. We have another station, WESU, in Wesleyan University. That's Jim Santa Barbara and his Wax Museum show. That's one of the longest running doo-wop shows in the country, I think.
Wow, man.
And he plays cuts from our CD. And most recently, we have the Rock and Richard show at WNHU is starting to play some of our cuts as well. So that's, starting to get some traction, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And we're certainly looking for more as well, too. And guys, who do you consider biggest influences in your careers? Al, you can start.
Really, it's my older brother who's a drummer, and I learned everything from him. And he went to Vietnam, left his drum set at home, and little does he know, he'll probably kill me once he is. But I jammed, invited a lot of my friends over, and go to the basement and just kick it all the time. So yeah, I learned a lot from my brother professionally.
Okay. And then Paul, who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Well, when I was young, my mom always pushed me forward. She always said, "You can do it. You can do it." And it's just the way it was too. I find out where my comfort zone was at the time, and then push forward from there. And she just always said, "You can do it." A lot of times when you're new at something, you don't believe you can do it, but it just always worked out, and it gave you the opportunity to learn a lot about yourself and about your future and kind of where you're headed. You can't go wrong by doing it from the heart. You do something from the heart, it just fits right into place, just like anything else.
Mm-hmm. And certainly does too. And Joe, who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
I would have to say that would be my father. Just introducing me to music and
Well, of course, my parents were also influenced me heavily. But most recently, though, I was influenced by the Duprees, of all people. When we first put this group together, we formulated the group. I was interested in doing a song from them. And I wanted to get the original chart that they had so we can work off of that, And I sent them an email, and not ever really thinking that a group like them would ever respond back to me. But lo and behold, a couple of days later in my email, I got an email back from them and saying, Jerry, this is the first time we've ever been asked for this song. Please use your discretion and don't give it out to everybody. This is the original chart when we first recorded it way back in 1963.
Wow.
And I was so taken aback by that these guys in their busy lives and everything would take the time to answer my email and show an interest. And they said, one thing we want to have you do is when you do the song, we would like to hear it. And so we did it, and it's on the CD. You can hear it. And they really enjoyed it. They said they loved it. So those guys have influenced me, and they still do. A lot of these musicians, they're very down to earth. Larry Chance is a wonderful guy. I can talk to him periodically here and there. And
he came to see one of our shows.
Yeah, we were down in Greenwich. And so, these guys that made it to the top, you would think that they wouldn't have time for a group like us, but they do. Yeah. It just shows you the caliber of people that they are, or they came up from,
I give them a credit too. A lot of the time, how long ago has it been since they recorded a lot of these original songs, and they're still out there, and they still sound exactly the way they did when they recorded things originally.
Mm-hmm.
From older musicians too, to still have the vocal chops, and to this day it's amazing.
And certainly is too. And what's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point? Any one of you can start.
Work on your craft. Keep it up. Never think you have arrived or you're as good as you're going to get. keep striving to do better all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right, Al. You got to shoot for the stars, and if you land on the moon, that's good.
That's a good
really,
one.
Actually, Mike, when we first started this group, I had a vision, and it's starting to come to fruition now. And it's slow and forthcoming, but I can see the group coming together, and we're doing much nicer shows now. And at first, I didn't really think that we would ever make it to do large shows, but I never gave up. I kept saying, we're going to do this, and you just never look back. Just keep looking forward, and you will get there.
And I think, a lot of it is we all have great faith. And there are just certain things that you can't control. It just happens, and I believe that in this case, it happened just right because we complement each other in our performance and in our music and in our vocals. The vocals just came together so perfectly. Some things, just a real blessing, and we appreciate that blessing.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say that, get a focus on what you want to do. Just stay focused on it. Put the work in. Don't think, like Al said, don't think it's just going to happen. You're going to have to put the work in. But if you keep working, we're seeing the results now, and it just proves that, if you work hard enough and you keep working at it, you will see good results. And that's my advice. Just keep working at it. Put the work in.
Mm-hmm. And certainly great advice. And you guys are all amazing. Once again, we're with Juke Box 45 show band featuring Jerry Fanfarelli, Joe Carver, Paul Scungio, and Al Floyd here on the Mike Wagner Show. Guys, very big thank you for your time. You guys have been fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? And where can people purchase or check out your works, and especially check out your shows?
Well, we have our Facebook page, which is very popular. Currently, we have over 2,550 people following us on a daily basis. And that is Jukebox 45 Show Band on Facebook. And we also have our worldwide web page, which is jukebox45.us. And that tells a little bit about the group and what our mission statement is, and what we're about and what we like to do and what inspires us. So those are the two places you can get in touch with us. And on the Facebook page is all our contact information, including my phone number and email address. So if there's anybody out there who's interested in hiring the band, then most certainly they can do it that way.
Okay. And we'll certainly check those out, including music. Once again, guys, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. We wish you all the best. And guys, Jerry, Joe, Paul, and Al, you have a great future ahead, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.